trying to get it right, but life's shaky though. We just trying to make Christ look attainable. When I do it on my own, that's not sustainable. So I just pray and give it all to God. He makes the faithful grow. Everybody feels condemned, that's not the case. I got the recipe cause I've been seasoned with grace.
Thank you for tuning in to Nehemiah Abilene. If you have been blessed by this, if this has helped grow you or connect you with the body of believers, and you would like to give, the whole purpose of these podcasts and clips and social media is to try to generate more support for our ministry, which is Nehemiah Abilene. You can find us at NEHEMIAHABI.org. We house about 90 men full-time, raising them up as disciples and leaders for the kingdom, to be the revival that we believe is coming. And we believe what that looks like is men back in position as leaders of their home and family. You can cash app us at #NehemiahABI, and by all means, be a member of a local church. But if in addition to that, you would like to give, there are many ways to do so. Thank you very much.
So one of the things on our well, you responded to it about the money thing, but we got to get the mics a little closer so that it doesn't.
Oh yeah, the weird guy.
Yeah.
You guys need to get better mics.
Yeah,
everything costs money.
I would have sent him a link and like our wish list on Amazon is what I would have done.
Listen. What I almost told him was, bro, send that donation. We'll get them.
No, you should have just sent a link and say, you just personally, here's the address. That way we're not asking for money. Because they're like, y'all asking for money. No.
You gave us a suggestion.
To help you out.
Yeah, you want to hear better?
With hearing us.
Yeah. Yeah, side note right now, for everybody suggesting better things, all you got to do is, if you want, you can purchase it and send it to 1636 North 20th Street, Abilene, Texas, 79601.
Yep.
And we'll get it in the mail.
Actually, I think you ought to put a list together.
I didn't hear a word of that because
I think you ought to put a list together.
Dang it. So this is part of the reason, like, because when we go right here, then you don't even. We come back. Remember Ace Ventura? You ever watch Ace Ventura?
Well, I mean, that was a long.
He was opening the door and shutting it.
Yeah. Singing.
Hold on, I had some stuff. Wait a minute.
Are we already recording?
Yeah, we already recording. I like that. I like the intro.
Drifting into it instead of we already got an intro. We don't have to do an intro.
Yeah, and
we got an intro.
And I like the one I did with Julio. We're just randomly talking about soccer. Did you watch that part?
No.
Oh my God,
I
we're just in there, and then he goes kind of like the Cowboys losing every week, and then I was like, bro, we don't have to even do this podcast. You can go home for all I care.
I feel extremely irritable today.
Why you feel irritable? Let's just start there. Why do you feel irritable?
I definitely think it's over. So quality of craftsmanship. I think the quality in which men commit their lives to their labor is so flawed.
That's good.
And I'm like, listen, if you're going to spend your most valuable resource like sand slipping through your fingers, you ought to at least make it look good. You know what I'm saying? Like the one thing you can never get back that really they can't put coins to is your time.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're going to place a value on that time and sell it, at least be top tier.
There could have been a clip.
But that's what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Clip that. I'm serious. Right. Listen, these dudes out there, they're tradesmen. They're complaining about how much they get paid. Most men are whining about what they get paid.
Yeah.
They are working hard jobs, but they look like crap. They're not dressing like that. The shirt's untucked, they're unkempt,
slides.
Listen, I'm telling you right now that, and then they want this. They want to demand this professional wage, but ain't nothing about you professional.
That's true.
Not even the work you do. The work you do. Listen, we should make it where you have to put your name and telephone number on every piece of work you do. If you're a concrete guy, if you're a plumber, write it on the pipe. If you're an electrician, write it on the box. Listen, that way I can text you and tell you how sorry you are. It's just a place of frustration right now. It bothers me that people would be offended by you resisting wanting to pay for a bad job.
No,
let me put it like this. The cost to go eat at Chili's is astronomical, and the food is deplorable. I cannot believe
we have a test of that.
Absolute. No, even me and Loopy went. So I was like, where do you want to go? Where do you go? I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I just want to sit across from you and eat chips and hot sauce so we can talk. That's all I want to do. And she's like, well, Chili's right there. Let's go to Chili's. I said, okay, cool. Chips and hot sauce. So we go in. And it was everything about it, other than the person, right? But for me, the person don't make the meal. I'm with the person I want to have at the meal. I don't care about your service team.
Yeah.
Like that does help the experience, right? Because
Yeah,
you are paying, but you're not paying for an experience anymore. Where's a good experience?
Yeah, it's true.
It's pretty rare. That's why servers that do really create an atmosphere of comfortability and everything you should value them
100%.
And this is the truth. I'm generous whether they're a good server or a bad server because they see me pray.
Yeah.
Me and my wife pray before every meal, just like you do. We eat together all the time. We pray, and so with that prayer should come an element of generosity, no matter how the server behaves, because you're setting the standard of who you are.
Yeah.
So let me say that first. But then, so you take the food that we're paying for, the quality of the meal that's being put in front of you, the quality of you have something built now. And I'm not saying this about all of them. I'm saying this about the majority. It's time for men to get their shit together because I'm sick of like the lowest standard being okay. That's not okay to me.
Yeah.
And I hope to God that we're not teaching men to do that. I pray that this ministry is not teaching men to either set or accept a low standard.
That's good. It's funny you say that. How much do you think that is attributed to just how they're raised in general?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm just saying, okay, because when we talk about you like, first of all, like, and you don't just work. You're not just a hard worker. Like, you're like. And you're on 100 all the time in everything you do, which is even down to your hard work, even like if you have a project, you're on it. You won't come out. You won't. Yeah, but I'm saying you won't even come out of the office. You're just like, you're zoned out. You can't hear. Like you're zoned in, right? But then you also said that like you had to go when you was a kid. You had to go work for everything that you ever had. How many of these guys do you think have been given everything that they ever had, never had to work for what they had?
I think that most of them have to. I think most of them have had to work for what they have.
Yeah.
I think so. So this is what I'll say is I think there's different types of people. So I believe that I have a gift to see the things that are wrong. Not so that I can point them out, but so that I can fix them. So like whenever you're talking about like, but I also believe in giving. If you're set to a task, you give all you got. You know what I mean? I believe that it's like working for somebody. Like if I agree to do some work for you, and you've seen us do this all the time whenever we contract work, if it's not up to your standard, listen, it is my responsibility and duty as the provider of this service or product to make sure that you are happy because you're my customer.
Yeah.
I think there's an element of entitlement. And I think there's an element of exhaustion. So I think you have some people that are like, man, I'm here. I'm here. They think because they're there, they need to get paid. And I'm like, we need to bring back where you can fight on a job site. You know what I'm saying? Like, look.
You used to be able to just fight on a job site?
Oh, for sure.
Wait, do you have to?
Wait, listen,
you have to be in agreement.
This is the whole thing. It used to be men. So I said to you, I know how to get you to fight. I can say the right. Listen, trust me. I can say the right.
I've heard you.
So, yeah. Listen, like in wind work, it's what happens up tower stays up tower. On the drilling rig, what happens on the rig stays on the rig. On construction, what happens on site stays on site. And so there used to be this thing where it's like, if you are dragging us down again, I'm about to teach you, or leave. So is that you put that kind of pressure. You're like, you're going to learn. We're going to have this conversation, or you can leave this job site. And people, so you gave them a choice, right?
Yeah.
And then there were some that would try to bristle and then you just hug them.
You hug them like this.
So but there I say that, and part of it's a joke, part of it's not, right?
Yeah.
But there was, you used to want to be like the best guy on the job.
Yeah.
You used to want to be the most talented guy on the job. You used to want to run a job. You used to want to get promoted. Now you got guys that I think, and I'm witnessing this, and that's why I'm saying this. I'm not saying every man. I'm just saying the vast majority of men are just showing up to work, and they're purposeless because they don't get, I think, fulfillment at home to make it purposeful. So you have a married man that gets up in the morning and probably has to get himself ready for work, help get it, and might help with the kids, might not, but maybe gets a little attitude at the house, and then goes to work, and so there's nothing to work for. Because I know when I get off work, all I'm gonna have to do is go deal with the bad attitude and not having enough money and get told why we need more. I see that a lot. And so what is the purpose of me doing it? Instead of having a household where there's a wife that's excited and proud of her husband,
So do you think
believes in her husband.
So it's not just him.
No, I think it's him. I think this contributes to this. I think we've lost sight of what it is to be in partnership in marriage. I think we've lost sight in what it is. Listen, the only thing a man needs for a woman is for her to believe in him. That's it. That's all he needs.
It will change.
That's it. If she believes in him, if he makes $15 an hour working at a stupid job, and she comes home and he is the king of that house, and she treats him as such, I promise you, within 5 years, he's gonna be doing better. I promise you, because she's gonna build him up. She's gonna help lift him into position, because he's gonna step into what God has called the full potential of masculinity within him. Because the woman is believing in him.
Yeah.
I believe you can turn anybody into an alpha. I just believe that. I believe anybody that can be turned into an alpha, or anybody can be turned into a leader. I think there's natural leaders, but I think you can build great leaders. And I think with the right woman in their life, I've seen weak men become stronger. Not because they were with a strong woman, but because they were with a woman that had the strength to believe in a dude and nobody else could see it. Nobody else in that moment. Listen, I have a daughter-in-law, or about to be daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
Man, I'll start crying talking about her. My oldest son went through a season of depression. He went through a season where he was struggling with his identity of like not wanting to be Lee's son, right? Because in this town, before Jesus, I was well known. After Jesus, we have some influence, right? And so he really struggled with that. And so and he didn't know what he wanted to do. He didn't know what his passion was, and he struggled. He had some depression, and he got with this wonderful, beautiful, brilliant young lady, and she saw something in my son. She saw something in him, and for a couple years, he wasn't exactly what you would want your daughter to be with. He's still a funny person. He's still got a great heart, but as a man, he wasn't in that. And I remember him talking to me about her mom being so like kind of whatever with him, and I'm like, of course she is.
Yeah.
Like she's had men like you in her life where they weren't trying to do anything. And then all of a sudden, man, there's this light turned on. She believed in him. And I truly, truly believe that she is what drew the full potential of who my son could be out of him. And bro, now they're killing it. He is a lead and leads a crew. He's a blue collar worker. He's a tradesman. He's a plumber. He leads a crew. In fact, he leads kind of an ace team that they send around to help catch up jobs and stuff. But he operates in excellence. So don't listen. He grew up in my house, which probably was not easy at all. Yeah. Because even though I didn't have Jesus, I still had businesses. I demanded excellence. You know what I mean? I still had this way of being, and so he got brought up into that. And so he knew that was the ethic, but he also had a desire to be the best. That's why he struggled with identity, because he didn't want to be Lee's son. He wanted to be Nolan. Yeah, he wanted to be his own man, and so whenever she believed in him long enough to draw that out, that inner man out of him, he started to just excel. And this is the thing, like. She started to go to college. She took a year off from high school. She was like fifth in her class, just brilliant girl, right? Mm-hmm. So she takes a year or maybe two off, I can't remember. And she was going to start college, and she was worried about how she was going to pay her car payment. And I remember him coming to me and talking to me about it. And I said, get a job and pay her car payment. He's like, but we're not married. I said, so what? For the last few years, she's done this, and this. And he's like, you're right. And so his whole reason he jumped in and started doing it was so that he could help take weight off her. And that's what we're supposed to do as men. Yeah. We're supposed to be a shade tree. We're supposed to be. And so that's what it was. He started taking on this, and this. And then don't get me, every once in a while, she'll like tell him, I've got this much money saved up. And he'll be like, Dad, I pay all the bills. Of course she has all that money saved up, you know, and so I think it's a combination. But take my other son. My other son he goes to work. He does have a woman that's with me, a good woman. He's married, but he's just unsatisfied in his position. He works with my other son. He's unsatisfied with what he's doing. He's unfulfilled in it. But I also see a pattern of him not giving his best. He's smart, and he can easily do in his bare minimum better than most. And so he lives in that pattern of being better than most by doing the bare minimum, and then is like, why haven't I moved? Even though his bare minimum is better than most, people can see that it's a half-hearted effort.
That's good.
You see what I'm saying?
Do you think being gifted sometimes and being talented?
Oh, it's horrible. You know that I feel that way. Yeah. Listen, you're rock bottom. It took me 38 years to hit rock bottom. Why do you think that is?
Yeah.
Most things, and I'm not trying to boast in that, but I'm not the best at anything, right? But I'm in the top 10% at everything I've ever put my mind to.
Yeah.
And so I don't say that to boast. I say that because it takes a long time to hit rock bottom if you can always pull a rabbit out of your hat.
Yeah, you can always.
You know what I'm saying? It was, and I remember whenever I was heading deeper in my addiction, I remember this girl that I'd been with for a while. She's like, "You always are able to pull out $10,000. Like, where's this magic $10,000? What's going on? What's really happening?" And I'm like, "I ain't got it no more. I don't have that ability." Because depression. People don't understand in addiction. It's depression. It's loss of identity. It's lack of, and then of course you take the spiritual component into it.
Yeah, that's another
that weight of a false life, the weight of the world without being able to be in yoked with Jesus, gets so heavy that at one point, even if you're gifted and talented, you begin to get so far down, you're looking up and you barely see the light. You know,
Man.
And so it definitely, I think, is more challenging. But that son, Brandon is his name, is brilliant, and he's always been brilliant. I'm talking like unreal brilliant. And I think there's frustration in brilliance. I think you walk around in an everyday world as someone has a far above average intelligence, and there's an element of you having to dumb down in every conversation. And so I see that pattern in my life. I see that pattern in his life specifically because I see him start to apply alcohol and marijuana and stuff so that he can fit in better. I just got really comfortable with not fitting in. I went this arrogant route of, oh, I'm meant to rule the world. You, as a non-believer, like, oh, I've been made different, and I know how you think. Mostly I understand where you're at. Okay, I see your weaknesses. You can't even control your physical lust. I know how to put something on you to get this. And so then I'm like, okay, this is what I was created to do. I'm not supposed to fit in with you because you're beneath me. And then, but I think on my son on the other side he's trying to fit in because he has a deeper desire for relationship than I did. And so he applies alcohol and marijuana to that. He has a desire to be a good dad, a good father. He's a great dad. He's a good husband, right? He's getting better. None of us are great husbands in the beginning. Let me just say that as not knocking him, but none of us are great husbands in the beginning. He's learning how to listen to his wife, and he's very compassionate. But I think until he understands that he's built different and then steps into what that fully looks like.
What? Not to interrupt, but does he see that the same thing you see in him? Does he see that in him?
No.
And so
no, I tell him.
I don't know why.
But the same thing with Nolan. Nolan. I've told Nolan since he was 10 years old he was a better man than me, and he could never fully understand that. He has something in him that has always made him an exceptional man and defender of human beings, to a degree that makes him like honorable by nature. And so, it's been there since he was a kid. It's just he's just always had that thing. And then, but my other son he just has some frustrated genius to him. If I'm being honest,
can I tell you like just and you kind of shared this a little bit, but like a lot of times for me, I can't. I've never saw me as. Dang, why does this make me emotional? This is so stupid. I never saw myself as anything. Nothing. Ever. Dang, that made me emotional. I never saw myself as nothing. Ever. I don't remember a time that I saw myself and was like, you're good. Or you're good at this. Even all the way to the point of like, you're not even handsome. Like there's like, you're not handsome. You're not faster than anybody. You're not stronger than anybody. You're not smarter than anybody. You're not any of these things. So I never saw myself as anything for most of my life. And so in that, I think that kind of made me live at the bare minimum, not on purpose, but I was like, I always felt like there's nothing that I could do that would make me good at anything. I don't know if that, I know now, I know that definitely is a trick of the enemy to make you believe less of yourself, but I never thought that I was good at anything. And so when people told me that stuff,
Yeah.
I'll be like, yeah, okay. Only person that ever made me feel, and my mom has over time, but I'm just saying when I was young, the first person I remember that made me feel like something was my grandma. And it made me, she was the first person that made me at least, this sounds so crazy, but at the bare minimum that my life was worth living.
So I feel like a lot of times I run in, you have the two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
But that come from the same place. So for me, everybody always told me I would be nothing. Everybody always told me, it was that. My mom was, and so for me, and then of course the abuse and all this other stuff, and then you have this thing that bubbles up inside of me that says, I'm going to take everything. And I'm going to make it where nobody can stop me. I never had this thing that said I'm good at everything. I had this thing that said I'm going to be better than you.
Yeah.
I'm going to be better than you so that I can take what you have. I'm going to be stronger than you. So first it was so that you can't take from me. Then it was so that I can take everything from you. I'm going to be, you see what I mean? But I think it comes from the same place though. So one, I think there's the same level, the abuses, right? And then there's just we grab onto it in two different ways.
That's true.
So for me, I know your story and my story. For me, there was no stability of home life.
Yeah.
Yours had some stability of home life because there was always a home.
Yeah.
And so like going through the system and boys ranch and juvenile detention for me and all of those things created this thing where it's either I was going to be somebody, I was going to be nothing and used and tread upon, or I was going to be in control of everything. And so I don't think that I didn't even realize I was really, really smart until I was in the Army.
Yeah.
It was like a revelation that I had. And then it created a wound towards all the school systems. So I remember I went to speak at AISD. There's a school right over here called Fannin Elementary, and they were going to sell those buildings. So I went to ask them for it. I wanted them to give it to me. Yeah. And I go to this school. I didn't realize it was the last school board meeting of the year of the physical school year, and it was where they were giving all these awards out to these brilliant kids. So you had like Adams, and they made robots. The Adams and Abilene, like they went to Tokyo and won like the robotics thing. Like these kids were next level. Like they won in Tokyo. They won in like 4 or 5 different fields. They went to Sweden and won this other like international. I'm talking international, huge things. And I remember sitting there thinking like these kids are like they are definitely going to be somebody. And I remember just being honored to be around those kids that day, right? Well, then when it got up, me, I don't get scared to talk to nothing, right? I got up to speak at the school board meeting, and I got so nervous. And I remember going home. This is that same mentality, and this is where mom will go this way, yours went this way, right? So I go home, and I'm telling Lippy what happened, and I said, I don't know why I was so nervous, and anyway, this thing started running in through my mind that was like, man, you're not good at what you're doing. You're not qualified to do what you do. You're not, all of those voices like you were saying. And I remember like, you better tell her this before y'all go to sleep. And so I just told Libby, I said, hey, I need to tell you something. She said, what? I said, I just don't feel qualified. I don't feel like I do good at what I do. I don't feel like I should be running a ministry. I don't feel like I should be, in charge of it administratively. And she's like, how long have you been feeling like this? And I'm like, I don't know how long I've been feeling like this. In reality, it had only been for a few hours, but it had been my whole life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It had been my whole life. So I wake up at 2:00 in the morning and I'm throwing up. And I know I'm being delivered from something. And while I'm throwing up, the Lord takes me back to whenever I figured out that I was really smart. And I developed an absolute opinion against everyone. I was so mad because my childhood was so rough. And I was kicked out of every school constantly all the time. And now, like, if I saw the same pattern of behavior, like, I get why they did it. I was not a good kid, right? But I just wonder if, whenever I went to the boys' ranch, or I went to this, or I went to this, if anyone would have taken the time to say, there's something, they had me test my IQ. My IQ was unreal high. I think it was like a 167 when I was 13 years old. And so, because I had to take a psychological evaluation in order to get into this boys' ranch. And they're like, this kid, and so that was the first year I was going to get to play football. So I was 13 years old. They were going to make me repeat the 8th grade because I got kicked out 2 weeks in and expelled. And so I do all this psychological evaluation, scored this ridiculous number on my IQ test. And then, but I'm going to repeat 8th grade, right? They take me as Madison Middle School. I get to go get my football pads. I'm going to be in the boys' ranch. I finally got a stable home. I got real meals. I remember I got my locker, all this stuff. I was going to be a part of it. A week before school starts, they told me they'd move me up to the next grade.
Oh, man.
Because of all that. So what happened that night when I'm thrown up is God showed me that I developed this real hatred towards the school district and those patterns of government. And he was delivering me from it. That's what happened that day in front of that school. And then after I threw up and I realized what it was, that if I was that smart, why didn't they? Because I didn't know the results of that IQ test until I went in the Army.
Yeah.
That's how I found out. So that's how I found out I was really smart. Like, I knew that I was smart, but I didn't know I was, like, whoa.
Yeah.
At least then. I don't know if I still got that, but then, that's a very large number. And so I remember just getting really, like, arrogant against government. Like, okay, now you got to play them. Now you got to work them. And that all happened when I'm, like, 17, 18 years old going in the military. And so that night, God shows that to me, and I throw up, and he delivers me. And he says, now I can put you in front of congressmen and senators. Because he had to remove that wound. If not, I'd never be able to communicate with them because it would never be from his heart towards them. So, I don't know. That was...
Nah, I don't maybe even think of all that is because, like, the way to hear you speaking about how you speak about your sons right now, you have no idea, like, how much power and weight that has over anybody to just hear it. Those would be sometimes the things that would just at least keep me going. Like, that's why I won't, like, I was talking to you about this earlier. I don't watch podcasts back. I don't watch music videos back. I don't listen to my own music.
Yeah, I don't either.
And
I mean, I listen to your music. I don't listen to my own.
No, but
I was thinking that's why I don't watch any of our stuff. I'll see one of our clips, and I may watch it because somebody commented on it. I'm like, whoa, they put a fire symbol. Would we say?
But my thing is, though, is because, like, I never feel like I did a good job at anything.
That's how I go through that same thing. Yeah. I go through how I speak. I feel like I don't enunciate. I feel like you can never see my top teeth. It's like, and then listen, and then people will, like, unaffirm stuff. I've had to learn how to smile since I've been a believer. That's just the truth. I remember Brian Massey told me, brother, you have teeth. He's like, I just assumed you were on meth. Maybe you lost all your teeth. Like, oh, no, I got great teeth, bro. But I just never learned how to smile. So if you don't know how to smile, you don't know how to show your teeth.
Yeah.
So, and that's like a real statement. Like, I like learning how to smile as a 40-year-old man.
Yeah.
Is insane.
Yeah.
But that is my life. Like, learning how to be able to do that and so seeing stuff like that on the video, and I'm like, and then of course my wife gives me a hard time anyway. She's like, you don't have lips. What are you talking about?
Oh my gosh.
You don't have lips or teeth.
Hey, but this is part of why I, like, encourage my kids all the time, or like,
yeah, for sure,
about them. And I'm like, I will never let them listen. I'll never let them feel like they're not enough.
But if you have dumb kids, you should tell them they're dumb too.
Well, thank God I don't have no dumb kids.
Yeah, no. But if you did,
you got to tell them they're dumb?
Oh, for sure. We don't want somebody thinking they're not. Like, it's like telling an ugly kid they're pretty. You're just setting them up for failure.
That is crazy.
They need to know the level they operate at.
You're
beautiful to me.
Yeah.
Don't go outside the house.
Oh my gosh. Everybody is handsome and pretty.
You need one of those things.
Bro, listen, never mind. I almost said something crazy just now. I'm not going to say that.
Listen, no. So my daughter watched Monday nights, and I guess I had talked about how it's easier to be good to your kids when they're good-looking kids.
Oh, she heard you?
Yeah. She's like, I was dying.
Oh, when you said it the other night.
On Monday night.
Super funny.
Oh, I didn't mean to say that part.
So I had something that we'd have just started going. I had something that
I love how nervous you get on the podcast when you're like, this is not Christian.
No, I'm good. I had something that I wanted to talk about how hard it is to really, that was fast. How hard it is to okay, so I'll just set it up and we'll just go from there. You came in this morning.
Cussing a lot.
Yeah, and on 100.
Yeah, for sure.
All kind of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I'm just listening and letting you vent and go through all of these thoughts.
It was literally about craftsmanship. That's what we started the podcast on. It came from that place. Okay, I'm listening.
Listen, I'm going into something with it. How hard is it? How do I word this? Us walking into a new life, right? Still having the past life try to peek its head out over and over. Overcoming that. I'll tell the story and we can go from there.
Hey, for anybody who's interested, listen, Nehemiah Abilene is a year-long faith-based military-style program who just helps with recovery. And, you know, we believe in getting every man restored back to where they're supposed to be as a head of the house, a head of their family, and just restore back to the identity that God had for them from the very beginning. So just go to NehemiahAbilene.org, go check it out, and see what the program is about. God bless y'all.
I went to Discount Tires the other day. And I had a 4 o'clock appointment. I got there at 3:45, 3:50. Set up, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, why is it making me go through this whole thing? Long story short, it's 5:30 now. And I have seen people who came after me leave before me. And I'm wondering what's going on. Long story short, it turned into this long thing. I don't leave there with my car fixed until 6:30. Now, I was frustrated. And I felt the frustration, but I was like, man, you want to know what's going through my mind the whole time? If I'm honest, you're a man of God. You represent Jesus and everything. You represent Nehemiah and those men and everything. That went through my mind the whole time.
That runs through my mind a lot.
That went through my mind the whole time. As frustrated as I was,
They don't forgive me.
and as absurd it is that I've been here for 2.5 hours for a freaking sensor was crazy, but that was that. And my wife was really like, you should have said this, this, and this. And I was like, I know. And I was frustrated. And at one point in time, I would have definitely did it. And then I came here and you was like, bro, you could have got a discount. I would have got everything for free. And I was like, I know, but I felt the frustration in me and I didn't. The truth is, I didn't want to misrepresent. Because I've misrepresented the Lord so many times.
So I agree with that, but at the same time, like, my time is valuable.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I don't have to be rude to point them to the fact that my time is valuable. I don't have to yell at them. I don't have to berate or belittle or demean them to let them know, hey, this is unacceptable.
No, I agree. I played out the scenario in my mind, though.
Yeah.
The scenario in my mind, you know how you scenario?
Yeah.
I played out the scenario in my mind that I'll go up here and say, hey, bro, I've been up here, boom, 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 and like this is, and him be like, I don't care about how long you've been here.
Yeah.
And then I would go, oh,
Throws
yeah,
out
you don't
the
care?
N-word.
Yeah, he calls me,
Yeah, so it's
me.
justified.
And he said, tell your wife to go up here, I'll smack her too. Like,
Yeah,
I played out this whole...
No, I have to do that too. Then it gives me permission.
Yeah, but I played this out of my mind.
They did that, and I was with you, and it gave me permission.
But I played out of my mind, and I just. But anyway, in that though, like I felt like, you know, like God honored me in that. Like,
for sure.
Like 2 days later, they messaged me, apologized. They replaced all my wife's tires, put new sensors and everything. It was awesome. But I'm just saying, like, how hard? How hard is it? And I only brought up you this morning because we have a space where we are able to process everything.
It's important processing.
And it really is. And we process everything and we'll vent and we'll go to whatever extreme that it is in that moment in a safe space for us to be able to deal with whatever else is going on that day. And we operate like the men of God that we are. Yeah. How hard is that sometimes? Just the navigating of all of that. I'm just asking in general. I know how hard it can be for me.
So,
especially me more so comments than anything.
I had a breakthrough moment probably 2 years ago where meekness, right? Where I had to choose, right? One thing that it gets on my nerves that I saved but not soft and Bible
I know, you hate
blicky and all this stupid stuff.
I hate Bible blicky.
And all this stuff because it's like no, legitimately. Well, first of all, the people that say the saved and not soft have always been soft. They're saved or not, and so and it instantly makes me want to check them in it and see. Oh, really? Well, let's see if you are not.
Right.
That's just part of my own issue.
We had a save not solve conversation.
How we did, but it literally means that I am, and the biggest for me moment of that is like having to understand like, do I have the ability to be a dangerous man? For sure. Do I have the ability to respond violently? Absolutely. Do I have that in my history and past? Without question. Meekness is power under restraint, right? Power under control. And so I had a moment, it's probably been 2 years, maybe 3 years now. It might be closer to 3 years, where I had this thing happen and it was just like, and I'm having this conversation, I'm like, and it's everything I can do. And in fact, it would have went very violent, but I could smell the alcohol on the person. Mm-hmm. And I was headed in their direction, like got to them and then smelled the alcohol. And that made it where, and then I had some family with me and stuff and they had a few people, it would have went just horrible for them. Yeah. And it would have just been against everything I believe. But if I'm being honest, it wasn't being a man of God. It wasn't. I just realized how I would absolutely destroy that person because they were drunk. And in that moment, I showed mercy and restraint because they were on 10 ready to go too. Had I responded, it would have been so bad for them.
Yeah.
And so, but then after it, I'm like going nuts. I'm like, what would make them think, blah, 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 this and that. And I kept saying, don't they know who don't they know what don't they know? And it was like, and I just kind of heard the Lord say, but is that who you are? You're saying, don't they? Which you do they know? The one that died or the one that was resurrected?
Yeah.
And so I had to say out loud, I'm no longer a dangerous man.
Yeah.
And so since I've had that breakthrough in learning what meekness is, real meekness, those moments are easier for me to get to, right? Now, I have to, the way my mind works, I have to go through the extreme.
I get that.
I have to run to that place so that I can walk that whole scenario out so that then I can say that's not who I am anymore.
All the way to the outcome.
All the way to where I'm locked up. My sister's having to call the attorney.
Yeah.
Like really, for real, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like it's wild how it works.
But one of my mentors, a pastor, he tells me the same thing. It's not violence. It's if he was to pursue a woman, he had to play it all the way out. What does it look like?
Yeah, for sure.
I have to play the whole thing out and go, I'm tripping.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Same thing. Like I have a marriage this way. If I did this outside of my marriage, boom, 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 explode. Look at see my wife crying. Yeah, I go through all of that, right? All right, that more so early on, but so I'm grateful that for the fruit of self-control.
Yeah,
the fruit of the Holy Spirit, that self-control. The only way I'm able to walk through that easier than I used to is only because of that fruit.
Yep,
that doesn't exist within me.
Yeah.
And for my process to be able to indulge in the fruit of self-control, I have to be able to verbalize it. I have to be able to say, this is where I'm at. I have to be able to, and then I have to be able to process what it looks like to be a ministry. Having a conversation about some construction stuff we got going on. I will fully intend on pointing out the lack of craftsmanship and have already, but I intend on doing it like very pointedly and saying this is unacceptable. All of you guys, all these guys that own I would say this, in our area, most of the men that own or run construction businesses are right-leaning conservatives that wonder what's going wrong with our country. And I would point all of those business owners that have any hand to do with some of the quality that I've seen lately right back in their office.
You know what's crazy is like I just had this revelation just now. I am so soft. And I say it because even in my frustrating moments now, and this has got to be the Holy Spirit, I almost don't even feel right saying what I would have done. And what I mean by that is like when I say it out of my mouth because of my past, I don't even believe it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even believe it about me anymore. I literally, and it's crazy that I'm even thinking about it right now. I'm like, I don't even believe that I would go to that place anymore. I don't even think that I would even be like, I know I played it out in my mind, and I'm like, yeah. And then even in the moment, I'm like, yeah, but you wouldn't. Like, and it's for me, and I just think it's just a heart change because at one point in time, I would have been okay with that happening, and now it's to the point where I feel like I'm lying to myself when I say it now, and I'm super okay with that. Because I don't even desire the things that I desired anymore. I don't even take disrespect the same way as I did before. I don't like being disrespected, but I don't even take it the same way. A lot of times I'll see somebody, they'll do something or say something disrespectful, and I go, they don't even know. They tripping. And I'm grateful for that because, you know, it's so funny even having telling stories to the guys downstairs. I feel like they looking at me like he's lying for no reason because I just don't even, and I don't even, the desire for me is not there. I don't want to prove to anybody how tough I am, and like, because I'm not anymore. I'm just a new creation in Christ, and whatever it is, like I think it's like, you want to know what's crazy? When the scripture says to turn the other cheek, I always thought that was so absurd. I think that God has got me to a point where I'd probably be able to turn the other cheek and go, man, God bless you. And listen, nothing in me wants that, and I don't want to be tempted because I could be wrong, because but the other side of me is kind of like, I put it like this: at one point in time, I couldn't even picture it at all. You're out of your mind. And now I could say I could see it and going, I can understand how somebody could.
So this is the truth. Like as you grow up, I think as you grow up and mature spiritually, as you develop this like real radical love for all of humanity around you, there's an element of authority in the image of Christ that dwells in me now, right? And the more I get closer to Him, the more I exude that authority. I can't even tell you how many times I've gotten in a fight in a parking lot of a store, or at 7-Eleven, or at a stop sign, or walking down the street, right? There's been so many times that's happened. Since I've been saved, it's never happened. Yeah. And now, even whenever I walk into a room, or I've noticed that I have more authority now where people don't do that. Probably because I'm not wishing one would.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like because I'm trying to protect. I'm not trying to protect that little boy. I'm trying to see if you can let walls down around the one in you. Mm-hmm. And so most of the time when I walk in any environment now, even meeting with those contractors, I'm going to point out what's wrong. Because I think that pointing out what's wrong is you're responsible to do that, right?
Absolutely.
But that whole thing where it's like, I want to choke him out and whisper right as he goes unconscious, fight for your life.
Oh, it's so insane.
Just so whenever he wakes up, he'll be more grateful. You know what I'm saying?
My gosh! See, look how the Lord spared you.
He's doing a work in me. I believe that I can sit across from him and try to pull out the best of that man. We get caught up trying to finish jobs, trying to do this. But I believe most guys that work hard enough to get their own business had a great idea of what quality was in the beginning. And maybe we just need to pull that back to the surface and say, hey, listen, I believe that y'all are better than this.
Can I tell you something?
What?
This is going to be odd and weird. You're one of the softest, nicest dudes that I know. And I mean that in the because I've spent time with you.
Yeah,
we become friends and brothers, and I hear you process these things. I'll hear you weep for the same person that you were upset with. I'll hear you play out a scenario, get there. I'm like, when I get there, and then the love of Jesus come out of you. And I know it's crazy because everybody says he's intense.
Yeah, everybody says I'm intense.
But nobody who knows you denies that the loving, giving, awesome person that you are. And so for me, even when I hear you play stuff out, the reason why I laugh most of the time, I go,
oh, you said it this morning. You're like, Aaron, little bit he's gonna be asking God.
Because I know, because I'm like, because there's God in you. And listen, in that moment, I believe that might even be kind of what Paul's explaining between the fight between the spirit.
Yeah,
and the
for
flesh
sure.
In the moment. And listen, I have up to this point, I have not seen
Me lose it.
the flesh win.
There's a Monday night.
I don't know. Maybe I wasn't there.
Yeah, you were there.
Was I?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, yeah. Okay, all right. You apologize right after, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quick with my man.
Okay, yeah, all right, but what I'm saying is that to me is part of. If I'll be honest, when I first started here, there were people that were like, bro, you're doing stuff with Lee, and I'm just like, I was like, I don't really see what y'all see.
Yeah.
I don't. And then the more time I spent with you, I go, oh, they saw this, but that's all flesh surface level stuff. That's not. I see that.
Yeah.
That's there. So all of this, I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Because I know that's him getting this off of him.
Yeah.
You saying the stuff that you're saying isn't saying I'm gonna go do it. That's you getting it off. Get this out of here.
Yeah.
So that I can go love like
Because
Jesus.
my mind plays the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so if I don't speak it out, the movie doesn't stop.
And you are so adamant about that you'd be like, we were here having some conversation, and I'm mad. I mean, it was about. I'm not going to say exactly what it was because I don't want to cause anything, but it was about a post. Remember, a while ago.
Oh yeah.
And I'm mad. Yeah. And I'm going, and he's over here. That face he's making right now. He's like, nah, I'm just seeing you. And I'm like, man. I was like, maybe this ain't even for me. He was like, maybe not. And I was like, and later on he was like, you were mad earlier, huh? And I was and we laughed about it later. But I'm grateful because you know why? This is the part of ministry that nobody has any idea about. Not just ministry, of just trying to navigate through
The normal life stuff.
Life,
yeah.
bro, and we're supposed to be these superhumans.
Well, I think that,
And we never get a chance to navigate through them because we're supposed to be something else that we're
life
trying
tells
to.
you that you're supposed to do some of those things.
Absolutely.
I'm not talking about the violent stuff or whatever,
Yeah.
but I mean, some of our lives told us we were supposed to do that, but now it's like you're supposed to chew out the tire guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're supposed to do that. Like they can't do that to you, you know, and it's like, and so I think undoing some of those train of thoughts, that can be difficult, right? But let me be honest. I pursue Jesus. I've never tried to change how I think.
Yeah.
I've never tried to say, I'm not going to do this anymore. Even when I quit smoking, as I've tried to, I really have tried to quit cussing. That's
know.
That's the only one I'm like really trying to
I know.
very limited success. I thought I was doing good till the other day. And you're like, no, you're not doing good at all.
It wasn't my exact
really
words,
good.
but I was like, but getting better.
You know, but I've tried to pursue him. This morning, you know, I'm talking to the Lord, and you know, everybody that knows in ministry, and I talk about, I believe that I have an anointing for it's specifically with sexual morality and overcoming some of that stuff, because my history was what it was. And so this morning, I'm just like, I'm talking to God, and I'm like, Lord, like, is this ever really all gonna go away?
Right.
And he took me into Thessalonians, where there's this part where I want to say it was 1 Thessalonians 4, but I could be completely wrong. And it just talks about like, hey, continue doing this, this, and this. You're doing good when we see you. Just make sure you're staying away from the sexual immorality and this, this, and this, and this. And so it was a whole thing where God, I felt like the Holy Spirit was just saying, listen, you're in this battle because we're having you cover people in a specific way. You're doing good. Just keep making sure you have these boundaries for pornography, masturbation, you know, all these things. That's how I felt like it was. And so in my pursuit for him, he reinforces what he's doing and changing in me. The same thing with the, you know, smacking somebody around or whatever it is. Like, there's been a lot of times, I remember Matt Stokes said, he said, when my opinion changed for you, he's that dude that was crazy. You came in, you said something, and he ran up to you, and you spotted that he was off, and you just looked at him right as he's about to get you and said, hey, do you need to go to Betty Harwick? And the guy stops and he goes, yes. I do. And it was, Matt said, whenever you did that and you had self-control, even though the dude was running up on you, he said that I knew that there was something different.
Yeah.
And so, and that's all the Lord. Like, it's the same thing as smelling alcohol that day on that guy, right? It's like I can be in that moment, and then whenever that discernment only comes from the Holy Spirit, only the transformation of spending time with Jesus kicks in. Listen, I don't have self-control. Let me be honest. I don't have self-control.
Yeah, me neither.
Nobody does. I think it very clearly lists it as a fruit of the Spirit.
100%.
And so if I'm walking according to the Spirit today, then I can eat of the fruit of gentleness, kindness, love, joy, peace, patience, and self-control. And so I think that on days whenever I struggle in my devotion or I feel far from him, it's a lot harder to get out of that place that we're talking about. But whenever I've been intentional about just pursuing him, being available, trying to hear his voice when I go somewhere, I think that it makes it very easy because his fruit is right there.
Yeah.
And it's within reach for me.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, it's a never ending pursuit of the Lord. Like there's the Bible's really clear where it says that I will not claim that I have apprehended.
Yeah.
Like he's letting it be known, like I'm not.
I don't got it all together.
Right.
I got asked at the gym this morning. He's like, "Is it always like the closer you get to the Lord? Is it always like this guessing game of was that him, was it not?" And I'm like, "No, I yes and no." I said, "I think the longer I spend time with him, the more I get to know him, the better I discern his voice."
I agree. And
what I've learned is, to me, he speaks a language that only I understand because he does it specific to me. He doesn't say, if he says mountains, then mountains burst out of the ground. So he has to give me a vision. He has to speak to me in these and so I have to discern how he communicates with me in the language that I can understand from him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that just comes from, I haven't grasped it all, right? I haven't, and obviously, and so like staying in position, being able to navigate. I didn't set that meeting. So this morning, whenever I was so upset, and I was gonna set that meeting and go deal with them, and I have that check that I need to take. I knew that like today wouldn't be the right day.
Yeah.
But I believe it needs to happen.
Yeah.
And it just needs to be whenever I can be as encouraging as I can when I point out what's not going right.
Absolutely.
And so that I can say, listen, I think you guys are amazing, but this needs to change. This needs to change. I think you guys have all the potential in the world to be this, this, and this. However, not if you keep doing this, this, and this. And so, yeah. So,
my desire to be a man of God isn't really necessarily like my desire to be a man of God. My desire is to know him, intimacy, a relationship with him. And in that, I know that everything will flow from there. You can really notice when you're lacking in your time, in your reading, and your prayer.
For sure.
And how you deal with things throughout the day or throughout the week. And so for that, I feel like that's why it's a place where I have to stay in constant communication with the Father and prayer and reading and fasting and seeking him and boom and bam. And when you tell that to the guys, sometimes they're like, how do you do it? And I'm like, bro, it's got to be, you have to go out. I was like, bro, I don't have a magical way, but I'm just telling you, like, you have to know that, listen, when it comes up here, that's my thing that I kind of practice. The moment it goes, you should be, and I just got to get to it.
Yeah.
And then he'll show me like, hey, you're spending too much time doing this. I need you to do more of this, and I have to be intentional about that. And so in that pursuit of him, his character will shine in you.
Yeah.
And it won't always.
There's that scripture that says we don't know what will be when we see him. We'll know him. Right.
Yeah.
It's like the more I spend time with him, the more I'm going to see him in me.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to recognize him in me. It's going to be like whenever you look in Dan Muller said this thing that one time, and I've done it a million times. I've told people to do it. Every once in a while, just catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror and say, hey, Jesus. Right? Just look yourself in the eye. Know that eye is the lamp of the soul, and just say, hey, good morning. How's it going? And know that if you allow him, it's in him, therefore. It says it over and over and over. Whenever you look in Galatians, I think it's Galatians, where the armor of God, right? All it is a description of who Christ is. Mm-hmm. To put on fully who he is. It's this identity, the blood that covers, that gives us this identity that allows us to step into this thing. And so.
And here's a one thing that I will add before we wrap it up, because I know we all looking at is that there's specific scriptures that tell us to deny ourselves daily.
For sure.
Renew your mind daily. Deny yourself daily. And every time I say that, I go, like, the key word and all that is daily, meaning that I'm going to be in constant pursuit of him. And every single day, it will have its own, even the scripture says, tomorrow has its own trouble. Like, today has its own trouble.
I don't have
a
a savings account of Jesus
Yeah,
that I can
and
tap into tomorrow if I didn't give it to
absolutely.
him.
Like, yo, let me get some reserve. I got some reserve Jesus.
I got some
in my
reserve
pocket.
Jesus up here.
Yeah, it's got to be a daily, and that's part of where we lose.
It's like so a couple things in that, right? Is I think the enemy wants to have us time travel, right? Go into the future on proposed futures, right? Whether it be that fantasy of fighting, choking somebody out, whether it be that sexual fantasy, whether it be that car that I'm going to get, whatever it is that I think about right here where I'm unavailable for this.
Yeah.
This connection, this conversation, he wants to pull me into that, whether it's in the past, guilt, shame, condemnation, or in the future, less the eye, less the flesh, pride of life, right? Any of those places are going to be outside of what God's perfect will for my life is. And I can find that found in the prayer that Jesus prayed in John 17, where he says, I want us to be one as you're one. Well, what the thing about them being one was that he had a mind fully surrendered to hearing and discerning the voice of God in that moment. Yeah. This is what the Father said to do, right? And so I think if I can stay in today right now, think about simple stuff, right? I go to interact with a buddy, he's acting weird, and then I'm like, why is he doing this? And I start creating these scenarios of what could be going on or my own insecurity, all these different things. And instead of just being like, hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
And the Lord wants me to say, hey, are you okay? Yeah. But the enemy wants to have an I, me, or my. The enemy wants me to see that there's some kind of discomfort and make it about myself.
Yeah. Yeah, what is he? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I ain't done nothing. I ain't seen,
That's super real.
And so I think that's why tomorrow has enough. If I can stay intentional about today, then I can hear the voice of God and he will guide me in every single step I take.
Yeah, bro, I only got enough energy for today anyway.
I barely got enough energy.
To be honest, and listen,
energy drink
here's another side of it too. I've been in ministry for a long time. We don't work in a regular easy like this. Nothing about ministry. Let me say, nothing about ministry is easy, and whatever your ministry is. But boy, it's
monasterial ministry when we're dealing with the from the gates of hell ministry, right?
Yeah.
Daily, like you're talking. All of the traumas, all of the sexual immorality, all of the violence, all of those
every
things,
drug,
and listen, and these are our knucklehead sons.
Yeah,
we're having to treat them like we love them like our sons, and these are 50-year-old men that done 25 years in prison. Yeah. And I'm looking at them and saying, "You're my son." To a 50-year-old black dude that was a gangster disciple, and he's like, I ain't calling you daddy.
Yeah, right away.
Come give me a hug.
We had a guy leave because he said, you're like a spiritual saint. I'm leaving, man.
I ain't nobody. He ain't my daddy.
Come on, man. I was like,
you missed the point.
Yeah, you missed it completely.
But this is the truth. That's the only way we're going to give them our very best.
Yeah.
Our call in this ministry is to give our very best to those who can't love themselves, absolutely don't receive our love until there's a breakthrough, a softening of their heart that says, well, why do they love me?
Yeah.
Why are they doing this? Why do they? And whenever they start asking those why questions, and then we get to say, he did it for me.
Yep.
And it's the only thing that'll change you.
Yep.
So,
and I'm grateful because I'm able to give these guys something that I wasn't able to get on a regular
without
basis.
question.
And not from a lack of people pouring into me.
Yeah, my son
is a little different.
So you always hear the story about how hard the program was when it was just me, right?
Yeah.
Bro, my boys used to laugh at the guys, and they're like, "You realize I've had this my whole life? Like, y'all have had this for 6 months. Like, why are you crying? You know what I mean? It's
That's
like
so
you don't
real.
even. Y'all are. This ain't nothing. I remember how. Listen, we had different types of discipline in my house.
Oh my God.
I remember they were like 5 and 7. I had them pull weeds for 14 hours.
Man,
because they didn't defend their sister.
That's wild.
The neighbor kid hit it. Well, and I had a propensity for violence. So the neighbor kid hit my daughter with a stick, and I'm like, why isn't he bleeding?
Yeah, why?
Like, why didn't y'all? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
the neighbor kid. No. Why didn't y'all grab him? And the other, it's 2 of y'all.
Yeah, jump him.
This kid, the parents should be down here trying to fight me by now. What's going on? And I'm like, and so I was like, I drove the point home. If anyone ever raise a hand to your sister and you don't give it back to him tenfold, you're not my son.
And now dig these weeds.
from sunup to sundown in summer in San Antonio, Texas.
Jeez.
I was not a good man. I've said that over and over.
Well,
Lord Jesus, I was not a good man.
and let me.
I thought that was good parenting. Let me be honest. I thought it was good parenting, you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't have Jesus. Now, obviously, that may have borderline child
Can I
abuse.
be honest?
Yeah.
Some of these kids nowadays
I will
probably need to do about 14 hours worth of pulling weeds right now, because we like this generation likes
listen,
so much discipline
in this ministry.
that it's
I used to have them, if they got in trouble, I would have them dig a 6 foot by 6 foot by 6 foot deep hole. And if they got in trouble again, I would give them a spoon and have them dig a 6 inch by 6 inch by 6 inch hole. And I would just repeat that pattern. And listen, you don't realize how deep a 6 foot hole is until you have a dude that's 5'3" digging it.
yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, and they better have it, and they would have to have it done that day. It was a different type of environment and ministry. But that's, you know.
We should play this part for the guys downstairs.
Well, I could have some guy. I could have Jathan come in and share testimony about it. I had him do that like 3 different times.
Hey, but listen, the other part of this is, though, watching a lot of these guys who have stayed and endured and haven't went anywhere are starting to see the fruit.
Yeah.
We're getting to hear guys come up and share some testimonies of being like, man, God did this for me.
Yeah.
And
I got to have lunch with a graduate, and he was just like, we were talking about me and you and the roles and how you're getting moved into a different level of role, which takes me a little bit, you know, because we have more ministry opportunities, whatever it is, right? And you moving into the executive director role, and you're moving into the CEO role, and he's like, how is that going to pull you away from the guys? He said, let me be honest. He said, I went through 9 different places. The reason it worked is because you were there and you were raw. I said, I don't think you lose any of that.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about me. I think that we're hearing that. I think that 5 years from now, you're going to hear the same thing. I believe that you said I'm the softest guy ever, whatever. And in my mind, I was thinking, I'm glad John is your armor bearer. That's just the truth. There, listen, I've seen. This is just me being real. First of all, let me back off with digging the whole stuff. We realized like those levels of correction.
I hope everybody
weren't healthy.
Yeah,
I just want to say that.
I hope everybody
so we
gets that
switched all that. We have
we don't do that.
It was in the learning. That was the first couple of years.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of rougher guys then too. But I believe that your calling is to be that type of father that is trusted and honored. I think John's role for you, and I think you should have him on the podcast so that he could be introduced and y'all can talk about, have these conversations. And I think his role is to do his job so well that it's not about whenever, because he's the drill sergeant for you, right? He's your first sergeant. He's the one, he's kind of he handles the rules and everything for you. But if he does his job to the ability or to the extent that we want him to, it should place such a high honor on you and your position that whenever you walk in the door, people sit up taller, not when he walks in the door.
Yeah.
And so he'll be that, and he has that element of correction to him where it allows you to be fully in your anointing as a loving father.
Yeah.
And then it allows him to say, hey, listen, I love you. That's the loving father. I'm here to enforce the rules. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love you, and this is how I love you because I can do this best.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
real.
Because I do think that's important. I think that being a little bit afraid of your dad is good.
Yeah.
And I think that's a healthy thing. And I think that I can't wait to see how God does that in this next season.
I'm definitely interested. I think, but let me tell you this though. I never thought that it would be. I would be ready for that. Like, nah. But I was trying to be Lee.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
But I can't. I am who I am, and and so I have to be okay with being who I am.
Well, and you're the one that's anointed for that new position.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. Yeah. It's not. God told me like 3 years ago, whenever it was like, man, this is a big vision. What do I do? How do I grow this? And he said, well, you can't look for yourself. Mm-hmm. You need to pray into discerning anointing, right? And so that's what I didn't start looking for people that could do everything I do. I realized that I needed to find people that complemented each other in their anointing so that we are a better body as a whole.
Right.
So.
All right. Well, look, we're running out of camera.
We've ran it. Yeah,
everywhere.
Everything's dying.
We've been here for multiple hours.
Coker broke something.
Yeah. So, is this camera working right now? No, not yet.
Oh.
So it's just
You're
this
good.
camera. All right. Well, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Season with Grace. I pray that we're gonna do this again. I want to shoot a couple of episodes with Lee next week, but I think I have some good things that we can bring to the table. And listen, if you're not paying attention to everything that's going on, we have Lee doing some reactions to some videos. I saw a reaction he did earlier to DMX.
Oh yeah.
So he was like, so hard to get past the rhyming.
Yeah, it was just like in his what he was saying. And when the rain and the pain,
yeah.
and the tower.
But that we got that going on. We got the podcast going on, and we're just doing a lot of stuff, man. Just keep us in prayer for this season. We're just trying to listen to God and wherever God's taking it to. And we're working on some
music,
anointed music.
Yeah. We were supposed to be. I thought y'all would have done something this week. I mean, usually.
Well,
my boss told me to get something done.
Oh my gosh, we were wait. It was the whole microphone.
Really excellently.
It was the whole microphone thing. Anyway, we out of here, man. Season with Grace, a new episode. Love y'all. God bless y'all in Jesus' name.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode. If you like the episode, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share so that other people can see the episode if it blessed you as well. And I just wanted to say, if you wanted to know more about what we're doing here at Nehemiah Abilene, all you got to do is go to NEHEMIAHABI.org, and we'll have all kinds of information about the program, how long it is, the process, and everything. So if you know somebody, or if you yourself are dealing with any kind of addiction and want some recovery and some biblical things, and just do want their life to change, go to NEHEMIAHABI.org and go check it out. I'm grateful for everybody. Appreciate y'all. God bless y'all in Jesus' name.